Hey, Leo, Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your September 2025 monthly reading. All right, Leo, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what September has in store for you. Bottom of the deck, we have Law of Attraction. This tells me here that you are in a highly magnetic energy at this time. It feels like you are focusing here, or you are guided to focus on what you want to see growing, evolving, and expanding in your life, Leo. There may be a bit of tug of war going on in a specific area of your life. Some of you, this may even be multiple areas, but I have a feeling this month for you, because you are focusing on growth instead of perhaps limitations or fears, you are going to make a lot of progress. I do see here progress, and I see your imagination really opening up here. There's a lot of healing that's been taking place within you. There's a lot of conscious awareness that has been looked at, meaning most of our lives, we tend to make our choices and decisions based on what has happened in our past. And it's not until we consciously choose to interrupt any patterns that limit us that we can fully step into this manifesting era. And many of you are understanding and realizing that there may have been certain challenges or conflicts that you and you alone have had to work through. Not saying that you haven't had help, but it's up to you to recognize and be consciously aware of what has been blocking your success or your growth. And I just get this message of expansion. Now, I always say the difference between intuition and fear is intuition feels expansive and fear feels restrictive. And you may have gone through a period where you did feel a bit restricted here, Leo. And this month, I keep getting this energy. It actually, what I'm being shown is a balloon, and the balloon is, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But instead of it perhaps popping, it feels like you are bursting out of a comfort zone here, but maybe it's taking you a little bit of time to build up that momentum here to work through some of those restrictions. So let's dive in here and take a look at your key themes for the month. You have divine guidance. A lot of you are connecting with and working with the angelic realm, perhaps your spiritual guides, your ancestors, loved ones in spirit. I'm also getting ascended masters for many of you. So divine guidance is also angelic help. You've been praying. I feel like you have been connecting to your higher self and your guides. You've been asking for clarity, asking for direction, and maybe even asking for signs and symbols to help you move forward. And I feel like you are receiving them. And not only are you receiving them, you are downloading them where there's this awareness and this understanding of what to do next. Like, how can those signs and symbols help you? Or how can the intuitive messages flow through you where you're able to take that piece of information and integrate it into your life? So there's another level, another layer that is taking place here for you. This is also spiritual strength. It reminds me of the Nine of Wands. Now, I don't see the Nine of Wands out here. You actually have some very powerful tarot cards I can't wait to share with you. But the Nine of Wands can be the wounded warrior, meaning you've gone through a lot, but instead of claiming yourself as a victim or a martyr, I feel like you are saying, I'm a warrior. I have overcome some of life's biggest hurdles, some of life's biggest challenges. And I definitely see here angel statues. Some of you may have even said, I have an angel on my shoulder, or my guardian angel is with me. But I'm seeing angel statues. Perhaps this is in a garden space, or perhaps you have angelic statues in your home. or you see one in the near future, that is going to be your sign here that you are not alone. Now, you have conflict showing up. So this is that tug of war that I mentioned here. This could be in your thoughts mentally. It could be emotionally. There's been a bit of a tug of war for you, maybe even financially. However, if you look closely, it says here solutions and overcoming obstacles, especially when you have the help of divine guidance here. You're able to recognize that you're not alone in this. This isn't just a one-man project here, a one-woman project. This is something you are co-creating and working with the universe to find a resolution, to move through the resistance here into more flow. This can be about competition. Now, some of you may feel like you have been in a competitive state, okay, maybe a little bit back and forth with another individual, or you may be feeling the heat I'm getting, or feeling the competition from other coworkers, employees, or even jobs, for those of you that may be looking elsewhere for new income, new business opportunities, or new employment. This is also about adversity. You may not be seeing eye to eye with someone. Perhaps they're not seeing eye to eye with you. But I have a feeling here, Leo, this is allowing you to add diversity to your mindset, your scope of things. It feels like you are being more open-minded here. It doesn't mean that you have to shift into someone else's belief because that's what they've told you, right? This is about you choosing to be open and to listen to other people's perspectives, but ultimately you get to trust your own intuitive guidance here based on the knowledge of what's going on in your own world. And I see that you can find some sort of logical solution here without compromising your own integrity, without feeling like, again, you're stuck in that resistance and that fear. You have finances showing up here. Now, finances is really powerful because you have an Ace of Pentacles out here. So there's the start of a new life for many of you. This is the start of a new business opportunity. Some of you are focusing on your health and body. These could be new rituals, new practices that you have that really start to help you focus on your well-being, because the Pentacle realm is our financial realm, our health, our body, our home, our possessions. So some of you are discovering here a new income source. There could be a payout for you this month, or even some form of abundance that shows up after a period of a little bit of struggle, a little bit of conflict here. Now, this could even be an inheritance. It could be a promotion, an award. It could even be something that you are investing in, because again, what you focus on grows. And this is saying here, if you stay consistent with your efforts, it doesn't mean that you have to grind and you have to break yourself in half in order to get this reward, but gentle compassion is what I'm being told. Gentle compassion here, staying kind to yourself and allowing yourself to rest when you need it, allowing yourself to have breaks, to check in with yourself and focus on intentions. There's a message around intentional thinking, intentional behaviors, intentional, showing up for the life that you want by being able to focus on perhaps what it is, or start to visualize, start to open up your third eye chakra and imagine. And you can start small. Start with your mornings. What do you want your morning to look like? If you can set some of your intentions and then start to visualize what that morning looks like for you, and then move into a full day. What do you want your day to look like, and what intentions are you setting for that day? How do you want to feel? Because once you have that intention, you get to move into that energy by taking action steps that can align you with the life that you are wanting for yourself. And many of you are growing financially here, or making some powerful choices around your abundance. So let's dive in here to the tarot. We have the Ace of Pentacles as your first card out here. So again, the Ace of Pentacles is the start of a new life. It's a positive reward, a bonus, a gift, an inheritance. It is something that you can physically see. This could even be an asset or a gift that is gifted to you. It could be a resource that helps you out. I'm getting last minute. So for some of you, it feels like this shows up in the 12th hour, right? Right when you need it, right when maybe there's been a deadline or it feels like you've been cutting it close here. Something here has been last minute, but it does show up in time. Something here is helping you out in the nick of time. And isn't that interesting because we have that angelic realm? Now, some of you, Nick or Nicholas could be significant, but I do see here physical health and well-being is a priority, is a focus, and your chakra that is standing out for the month of September is the heart chakra. Now, the heart chakra here, it says peace. And your message is this: I will meditate and be peaceful and calm in my interactions with others and the world. Peacefulness comes in me, giving up the love of power for the power of love. I'm going to repeat that. Peacefulness comes in me, giving up the love of power for the power of love. Beautiful. I invite peace to be a part of my life, and I make time to experience my own inner stillness daily. I continually develop an inner sense of calm, and I trust that everything will be all right. Feeling good about myself will help bring peace into my life. So heart chakra energy here. Now, Leo, I am getting here with this heart chakra because we're on the topic here of health and well-being with this Ace of Pentacles. Some of you are focusing on your heart health, bringing more joy, more abundance, more happiness into your life. You may have even had some physical issues around the heart center, perhaps heart palpitations, a heaviness in the chest, anxiety, depression, loneliness, even forgiveness, bitterness, resentments. Now, those are some of the more challenging things that we can deal with, but you may also have some bouts of euphoria, of bliss, of joy, of happiness. And I see here that you are expanding. Again, there's that word expansion. You're expanding the heart space by weeding out the garden in the heart space, right? Weeding out the feelings that have kept you restricted or kept the heart maybe on lockdown. And I feel like you're opening up, and this is a love for what you do, a love for, your craft, your business, your career. It's a love for whom you surround yourself with. It is a love above all for self. Self-love is showing up through your heart chakra. All right, we're moving into the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is the energy of recognition, triumph, hard work paying off. And the Six of Wands here is showing up as a big success. A lot of you may even be leading the ship. I'm getting like leadership energy, accomplishments. You are getting recognized here. Some of you may even be in the spotlight because we have the Six of Wands and the Star. Many of you Leos out there are in the public eye, or you are meant to be in the public eye in some way. Now, it could be through a social media platform. Perhaps you are writing a book, you're telling your story, you're helping others in some way. I also feel like you could be leading a group, or perhaps you want to start classes or courses online, whether you are the student, whether you are the teacher. Many of you are here to entertain, but I'm getting also through spiritual enlightenment. So you may be someone who maybe you shy back from the spotlight. Perhaps you did not enjoy public speaking or theater classes or drama, but I feel like there is a part of you that is meant to shine brightly. And if it's not in the public eye, it is about you being able to fully step into your power, right? In the power of love. That's the message of the heart, right? Stepping into the power of love, not the love of power. And this Six of Wands, sometimes it can be ego tripping, but I'm not getting that here for you. I feel like you are not allowing that power to get to your head here. Perhaps you've dealt with other people who have, but I actually see that there's a lot of understanding, a lot of awareness. And I mentioned that earlier. You're able to integrate what you have learned. You're able to take the intuitive knowings and downloads and apply them constructively to your life. So beautiful. You have some big major arcanas here as well. You have the balance scales of justice. This is Libran's energy. Towards the end of September, we move into Libra season. And so this tells me that there's order being restored. Now, the Five of Wands is here, which literally is this conflict that's showing up. And it says competition on both cards here. So there has been some sort of a competitive energy, perhaps between you and a family member. Maybe you felt like someone was always one-upping you, or they needed to have the last word or the last say. Or there may have even been constructive criticism or underhanded criticism here, where you could go both ways with it. Maybe someone was trying to help you and you're now understanding that perhaps you were trying to help someone else out, but it's not through, power and control. It's through love. And I see that you are rising above the competition here, even if that competition was an entanglement within your own mind. It could be the intuition versus fear. You are bringing balance, restoring order, and taking accountability here. And the justice is the energy of accountability. Now, some of you may have been dealing with a legal matter here. This could be retribution. The justice can also be balancing out the body. Now, back to health and well-being. Some of you may have struggled with balance, with equilibrium, perhaps vertigo, tinnitus. There may have even been an imbalance with an area of your body that has twos, like pairs. So we typically have two arms, two legs. We have a set of lungs. We have two ears, and you may have been struggling with a part of your body that had a pair. And I feel like there is balance being restored here. Maybe you've had knee surgery and you're able to recover, feeling like both of your knees are working properly now. Or perhaps you've struggled with maybe your vision or your hearing. There's something here about restoring it where it doesn't feel like you're leaning on one area or one body part more so than balancing out those body parts. I hope that makes sense here. So I'm also getting those of you who are into energy healing or spiritual modalities, which I'm assuming most of you are. It feels like there is an internal security system. So what that means is you have been finding ways to calm that nervous system by internal means versus anything out there. So for example, you may be looking into breath work. Some of you may be checking in with your body, dropping into your five senses. This is something that we could use more of. I don't know about you guys. I'm a double air sign in my top three, Libra and Aquarius. And sometimes I have to remind myself to drop into my body because I'm always thinking, growing, learning, expanding, which is great. But we also need to remember that our minds and our bodies need to connect and collaborate together. And so this month, especially as we navigate through Virgo season, you may be guided to drop into your senses. So asking yourself, even in this moment, what's in front of me? What am I seeing right now? And then allow yourself the space and the energy to focus on what's right in front of you, Leo. And then ask, what am I hearing? Allow it to get quiet for you and ask, what am I hearing? Right outside my window, I can hear the crickets and the frogs. And I hear the silence, right? And sometimes we have to allow it to sink in for a moment. What am I feeling? You know, where are my feet landing? What am I sitting on? What am I tasting in my mouth? So allow yourself to drop into your senses, because that's going to allow you to get out of that headspace and really stay present in the now. For those of you that have struggled with that mind-body balance, which can be a part of Libra's energy. Now, Libra also rules the heart chakra. So that makes sense with the heart energy that's coming up here for you. You're bringing balance back into your heart after feeling a little bit of a blockage. All right. Now, this final message here of the tarot, I love. You have the Page of Cups, imagination. This may be why Spirit wanted to bring through intention and visualization, because if you look at this woman, she is standing there on the ocean's edge, and half of her body is in a beautiful, colorful artwork. It looks like there's reds and there's yellows, but the other half of her, including the ship that is out there on the horizon, is a blank slate. And this is your message that you are the creator, you are the author, you are the painter, you are the alchemist of your own life. Whatever it is that you want to visualize, this is in your hands. That's why you have Law of Attraction at the bottom of the deck, Leo, because your mind is expansive, and Spirit doesn't want you to limit yourself, to hold yourself back, to dim your light to fit in, or feel like you can't stand out because you're going to take away, someone else's joy. It feels like you are meant to stand in your truth. Stand in your truth here. And use your imagination. Now, the Page of Cups is also representing a message. Now, pages represent message. They can also represent children in your life, or perhaps your own inner child. Many of us have to relearn how to parent ourselves, especially if we have grown up in an environment where our caregivers may have been emotionally absent, or physically, or perhaps we've seen things in a way that have contributed to our conditioning that may have limited us, right? And so we tend to react and respond to life based on our past experiences. But when we choose to consciously interrupt those patterns, as I've been saying here, I feel like you get to expand your life. You don't have to stay in that old story, replaying out an old loop. So there's a download here, an intuitive download. There could be a physical message coming through. There could even be, your imagination is saying, you're right, Mel, I want to go forward here. I want to take that class. I want to start that business. I want to fall in love. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter, what's happened in the past. What matters is that you're showing up right here, right now, and you are choosing the power of love. And that's what I see you doing with this Page of Cups. So this is beautiful energy. There's definitely a balance coming in, and a massive healing that has been taking place within yourself, within you internally, and you're going to start to see it in your outer world, Leo. Now let's look at finances. Oh, before we move on, I want to mention, and I just now noticed this, you have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, and this is the unknowable. The High Priestess is our intuition. It's our spiritual insight. And for some of you, you may have felt a bit detached from your own intuitive awareness as this inner struggle, this inner conflict. And that could be why that message came through earlier about intuition, right? The difference, as I mentioned, my difference is intuition feels expansive and fear feels restrictive. Also, fear can feel very focus based towards one thing. Now, intuition allows for you to have some wiggle room, to really allow yourself to expand in maybe more than one area, and allow you to Tune into what connects with you, what resonates, what feels good. And it can be more of a quiet whisper. Fear can be very loud. So there are some differences here for those of you that may be questioning or getting caught up in that. So let's look at finances, career, abundance, wealth, money. You have the Rebel. I don't know about you guys. Whenever I see the Rebel, I gravitate towards her. I call myself a bit of a rebel, but I feel like we all have the rebel within us. It reminds me of the Strength card when you see the lion and you see the woman. The lion is our wild, it is our rebel, and the woman is our compassion. And I feel like many of you are tuning into a part of yourself or a side of yourself that says it's okay to break out of the cage, right? Because there is this wild, unknown part that cannot be tamed, and you're not meant to be tamed when it comes to your own intuition here. You're not meant to be tamed when it comes to your light. You're meant to shine as bright as you possibly can. And it says here, limiting beliefs could be limiting your abundance. That's what this reading also is geared towards, is releasing and letting go of those limitations. And you are a rebel. You can break out of the cycles here that have held you back, Leo, because you are a system buster. You are a teacher where maybe you're teaching others a better way. And some of you are entrepreneurs. You are a trailblazer meant to pave the way for future generations. How does that sound to you? You are here to pave the way for future generations. And it doesn't matter how big of energy you put into something, right? Whether it's showing up or it's being the leader of, a company, all of it makes a difference. And for some, that is going, for some of you, that smaller impact or just showing up is going to be the biggest impact of their lives. And for others, stepping into that leadership piece or anywhere in between, it doesn't make a difference where you are at as long as you are stepping into your power here. Now you have the candle. The candle is burning bright for you this month, Leo. You have this ambition that is taking over, this action within you, this manifestation power. Look at it. It says manifest money, and you have both finances and the law of attraction here. This is about management, high rank, visibility. All right, Six of Wands, visibility. It's showing up here, and you could be getting headhunted. Some of you have this part of you that you're putting a good or service out there into the world, or you're putting your skills and your talents out there. I'm also seeing here what looks to be like a vendor market, perhaps a farmer's market, or perhaps this is an area like a convention where everybody gets together and I see different booths. You may have something to share, something to sell, something to, some form of service. So I feel like you could be getting recognized and getting noticed. I'm also getting someone selling items, maybe real estate, because this feels like it's a bigger purchase, or someone is purchasing something where there's more commission or there's more finances here. And you could also work in the athletic field for some of you, or you are feeling more flexible. You may be going jogging, hiking, paddling, kayaking. You may be getting out there and moving and being more flexible within your own body. And it feels good, because what does it do for the body? It helps you expand. It helps reduce inflammation and gets your serotonin and dopamine levels going, right? So this is the happy hormone that's taking place here for you this month. Now, we have the wings here. This is my Aquarian vibe, and I feel like you're using that brilliant mind of yours to rise above money issues, but also because you have the Page of Cups, you're combining it with your intuitive awareness. So when you're able to use both of the tools, because don't get me wrong, the mind is beyond powerful. The mind is so incredibly advanced, Leo. You're aware of this, right? I'm aware of this. We are all aware of this, but sometimes we need to remind ourselves and consciously choose to show up each and every day and choose to the best versions of ourselves. And I feel like you could have a business taking off. You may be profiting here. It says spiritual work, life purpose, and mission. Many of you Leos may even have a spiritual message to put out there, a spiritually based business, or this is something that, you may love. And maybe right now you work in the corporate world, but you have this big idea. Maybe you've already planted the seeds. Many of you have already started to see growth here in an area that you're wanting to lean into that has a spiritual backing, some sort of mission attached to this. And I feel like you are spreading your wings. So there could be a new offer coming in the month of September, a lot of success. Some of you may even get a big raise, or it just feels like there's a bigger increase here of abundance or money. It feels like you are rising above the competition here. You are standing apart of the crowd by being authentically you. And also, if you do have a very important interview or a talk or a speech or a meeting, or whatever it may be, if it's important to you, I feel like it is important to visualize. And you can even do this in front of the mirror, right? You can create the speech and talk back to yourself with it, like record it into your phone. Or if this is an interview, allow yourself to stand in your strength and not to let the fear take over. Also, allow your body to show up in a way that feels confident by standing tall, by giving a good firm handshake, by looking someone in the eye, by, opening up your chest space, shoulders back, allow yourself and your body to blend those energies of confidence together. All right, let's look at love. Let's look at love. We have the snake here. All right, there's the competition again. Wowza. So you are feeling, for some of you, especially if you are single, okay, because I see the dating card here. For those of you that are single, you may feel like there's a lot of snakes in the grass, right? It reminds me of, I just heard the saying from Toy Story. If you've ever seen that, there's a snake in my boot. So for some of you, perhaps you feel like you've dated some snakes or just some people who didn't really vibe with your energy. And I see here that you're not going to settle. You're not going to be the other woman or be someone's option when another individual will make you their choice. And you have gone through experiences in the past where there's been a bit of a tug of war. Some of you may have even felt like you were, dangled, like a carrot was dangled in front of you. But I see that you are not going to allow yourself to be caught up in the drama or the conflict here of another. Now, if you are looking to date, you have the dating card. This could be getting back out there after dealing with a snake or a snaky situation. This is also about meeting someone new. Ace of coins and the Page of Cups. There's a love offer right there. This could be meeting someone, setting a date, maybe even dating online as it says here. And you have talking. So for those of you that are wanting or looking for love, prime month. I definitely see within the next 6 weeks here, as we move into Libra season, things could really harmonize between you and another. And you may see that there's a bright future between you and another. For those of you that are currently in a marriage, or perhaps you're in a relationship, you have the talking card, and it feels like there may have been an argument or conflict or opposing views that perhaps you and a spouse or you and a loved one, or maybe even you and a child, this could be an adult child, have struggled seeing eye to eye. But through mature emotional responses here and through respectful honoring of each other. And I think we talked about that in the beginning, being able to see someone's perspective without shutting them down, and also having that same respect in return, but allowing the both of you to speak and to to face those fears, right? To speak your fears or your concerns or your difficulties without feeling attacked, without feeling shut down, or without feeling like you can't fully open up and express yourself in ways that you want to be heard, because sometimes that Six of Wands can be, overlooked or feeling a bit alienated when it comes to some struggles. So if you are in a partnership here, you have the ability to use your communication skills. Now, we still have some Mercury energy going on, I believe, maybe a bit of Mars. I feel like you have this time. You can take advantage of using those communication skills instead of letting that Mars energy of hostility or anger or defenses, strike up like a snake, right? Striking a pose, getting ready to attack. You can diffuse the bomb is the message I'm getting here. So there is the opportunity to work things through or connect. But if someone is not meeting you at that mature, emotional, logical level, then perhaps diffusing the bomb means, walking towards a new direction that feels more in alignment with what you want for yourself. So talking is coming through here. All right. Lastly, Leo, we have Eros. And Eros looks like we have a beautiful diamond in the mouth here, the throat chakra area. So I'm going to find this in the guidebook. One moment. All right, Leo. Eros, love as desire, eroticism, and sensuality. Though Eros can be depicted as unbridled sexuality and eroticism, a more contemplative understanding of this archetypal energy leads us to the root of desire itself. What do we long for? Why are we awakened by love? What makes us hesitate in the face of intimacy? Eros reconnects us with the primal longing to merge with another human being, nature, music, art, plants, food, or anything that we perceive we are separate from. Eros allows us to momentarily unite. Our heart embraces otherness, and in doing so, we further understand our own. Our life force awakens. This card reveals an inevitable initiation into love's labyrinth. You guys, that's the heart chakra. You may find yourself swirling in a new territory of desire and sensuality. Explore the labyrinth with a curious and honest heart. And remember, though the way is circuitous, you are always being led towards its center. When this is showing up as the light aspect, it's passion, it's playfulness, it's sexual health. When this is showing up as the dark, it's madness, projection, and obsession. Plato reminds us that Eros can be experienced as platonic love. It is activated when we witness beauty and truth in the world, when our barriers soften. The Hindu goddess Lalita, she who plays, can help activate Eros energy. She is also known as the Empress of Desire, Kamashavari. She is a goddess that I am not very familiar with. So I'm going to have to look up her energy as well and tune in and see what she brings in, aside from, of course, the Empress of Desire. So beautiful. And for those of you that want to go deeper within Eros, check out Love Sonnet by Pablo Neruda or Basket of Figs by Ellen Bass. I'm not sure if those are poems, or if those are books, perhaps there are songs. So we have this initiation into the labyrinth of the heart. And the heart chakra is the main center that is activating for you this month. Thank you so much, Leo, for being here. If you enjoyed today's reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video.